Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It's Wednesday, December 6th, 2023. Here's what's happening today in America. Impeachment inquiry. Trump underestimates. Flood the tunnels. And Americans identified. It's all coming up. Then Bill's going to be here with your message of the day. But first, the House will vote next week on opening a formal impeachment inquiry against President Joe Biden. This is not a vote for impeachment. This is just an impeachment inquiry. This is the process before any potential impeachment vote. New Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, said the House has no choice if it's going to follow its constitutional responsibility to formally adopt an impeachment inquiry on the floor so that when the subpoenas are challenged in court, we will be at the apex of our constitutional authority. All the moderates in our conference understand that this is not a political decision. This is a legal decision. This is a constitutional decision. And whether someone is for or against impeachment is of no import right now. Donald Trump's fraud trial in New York, a $250 million civil lawsuit that says Trump overestimated his net worth in order to get better bank loans. Well, the judge valued Mar-a-Lago, his private home and club, said he overvalued it by 2,300%. The judge valued it around $18 million, where Trump valued it up to $612 million. Well, Trump's defense called an expert who claims that Mar-a-Lago should be valued at $1.2 billion. 18 acres of waterfront property, 500 private memberships, which cost $350,000 each. So the experts said that if anything, Trump undervalued Mar-a-Lago. Wall Street Journal reporting that Israel is considering a plan to flood the tunnels in Gaza with seawater to drive out Hamas terrorists who have been living underground. But it could threaten Gaza's water supply. Israel just finished assembling their large seawater pumps. 5 of them can draw water from the Mediterranean Sea and fill the tunnels within weeks. The U.S. Air Force has released the names of the 8 Americans who were killed in that Osprey crash off the coast of Japan last week. The only American whose remains were found were Staff Sergeant Jake Gallagher from Pittsfield, Massachusetts. The other Americans were Jeffrey Hornerman from Andover, Minnesota, Eric Spendlove of St. George, Utah, Luke Unrath of Riverside, California, Terrell Brayman from Pittsford, New York, Zachary Lavoie from Oviedo, Florida, Jake Turnage from Kennesaw, Georgia, and Brian Johnson from Reynoldsburg, Ohio. If you're in these communities, please support these families and show our love at their local funeral or processions. Thank you for your service, men. Bill O'Reilly with your message of the day. Next.
If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. This protection plan is at an all-time low in price. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Wednesday, well, I have had quite enough of virtue signaling. Out of control situation right now. Here's an example. After some hateful congresswoman would not address Hamas raping Israeli women, the TV pundits couldn't get the outrage out fast enough, and it was appropriate. Although blanket Hamas condemnation should be a given, however, it is not. So where's the criticism of progressives on that? The corporate media has enabled far-left fanatics for years. Now the enabling is on full anti-Semitic display across the country. MSNBC's entire business model is coddling and promoting the progressive agenda. America is bad. Cops are bad. Criminals are victims. of a racist society. All abortion is noble. Skin color, not merit, should dictate outcomes. White men are evil. Pot is good. On and on and on and on. The progressive movement believes Israel is a fascist country that practices genocide or some such stupidity. So, as Susan Sarandon put forth, they are tasting Hamas's medicine. Appalling doesn't even come close. But this garbage has been going on for years, and maybe you virtue signalers might want to point that out. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Let's go to the mail. We got James Shackmuff, Kenosha, Wisconsin. Bill, I know you've said James Buchanan was the worst president because of his handling of the slavery issue and Joe Biden's second word. So what, in your opinion, would it take for Biden to move ahead of Buchanan? It's impossible. Buchanan was so bad, so many people died because of him. There's just no way. Unless Biden starts a nuclear war or something. Kenny, concierge member. Kenny gets direct access to me. I could not agree more. I was also born and bred in New York, and with 20 years in law enforcement, and I feel unsafe in the city now. Worst part, it's spreading to Long Island. Not so much. Nassau and Suffolk County police departments and the Republican administrations in both counties is stopping the madness. Not so much. It can be done. Dan, turns out that the 1980s flick Escape from New York was very apropos. I was thinking about that. Snake Plissken. That was a really interesting movie. Bob Nolan, Ontario, California, right outside of L.A. I don't like giving cash to people on the street because I don't know what they're going to buy, but I would like to help, so I give them a gift card to a fast food place. Okay, that's good charity, I think. Even if they're drug addicts and alcoholics, they got to eat. All right. Luann Hirsch, Walnut Creek, California. That was your best smart life tip ever. Learning not to force a situation is key to happiness and peace. I think that's why it's so closely tied to faith. You know, you do your best. You try your hardest to make something happen. If it doesn't happen, accept it. In a moment, something you might not know. It is a harsh reality, but many people find themselves owing money to the IRS. And all those scary ads on the radio about the IRS, well, they don't help. Tax relief advocates want you to relax and breathe easy, knowing that whether you owe $5,000, $50,000, or $500 in tax debt, you don't have to fear the IRS for another day. TRA, Tax Relief Advocates, has a proven 3-step tax resolution process, plus they are experts at working with special programs available from the IRS to help taxpayers get back on track. So don't lose hope. Tax Relief Advocates can help you significantly reduce or even eliminate your IRS debt. If they can't reduce your tax debt, you will pay nothing. Please visit TRA.com or call 800-575-2193. 800-575-2193. 800-575-2193. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. On this day in 1947, President Harry Truman officially dedicated one of the biggest national parks in America. After Disney World, it remains Florida's most popular tourist attraction. Here is the story of the Everglades. The tropical wetland is 8,000 square miles of slow-moving rivers, marshes, tidal plains, and beaches. The ecosystem is the most diverse on Earth. It contains 1,000 varieties of bird, 75 different reptiles, 50 types of mammals. Europeans first tried to tame the swamp 400 years ago. The Spanish abandoned the project after settlers died from disease and animal attacks. The invention of the automobile allowed Americans to populate the region in the early 20th century, although it was hot down there with no air conditioning. Today, the area is home to just 500 people, nearly all members of the Seminole Indian tribe. To survive, they live in elevated homes to avoid floods and dangerous creatures. Despite human development, the glades remain a treacherous landscape. There are dozens of species that can kill you: gators, crocodiles, sharks, snakes, poisonous frogs, spiders, panthers, and bears. And here's something else you might not know. The most dangerous predator in the Everglades arrived in the 1980s, the Burmese python. Researchers believe there are at least 500,000 pythons now living in South Florida. Adult snakes can be 25 feet long, can crush a human being in 2 minutes. Officials spend millions of dollars every year to eradicate the pythons. The government will actually pay you to journey into the swamps and kill the snakes. The dead serpents are turned into boots, jackets, watch bands, even food. Americans now consume more python meat than any other people on Earth. The average Everglades resident eats snake twice a year. The most popular preparation: python jerky. I will not be having that. Back after this. If you or your business is falling behind filing your tax returns, or if you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS, please listen carefully. The Biden administration just unveiled an $80 billion plan to modernize the IRS and reduce the unpaid tax debt. Are you tired of the IRS letters, levies, liens, or wage garnishments? You do not have to face the IRS alone. Hire Anthem Tax Services. They can help you settle your delinquent tax problems and all collections, and may even be able to reduce your back taxes significantly. If Anthem Tax Service cannot reduce your current monthly payment with the IRS or state, or they don't put you in a better position, you might qualify for the 100% money back guarantee. Please call Anthem Tax Services 800-810-9193, 800-810-9193, 800-810-9193. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.